Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Artists, Icons, and Entrepreneurs. I'm your host, Lulu Benavidez, and thank you for joining me today. Before we dive into today's episode, I want to take a moment to acknowledge the difficult times that we are experiencing. From the devastating fires in California that have taken homes, property, and lives, to the tragedy accident in New Orleans on New Year's that claimed so many lives, to our personal tragedies that we all face. The weight of the world feels especially heavy right now. In light of everything that's happened, we decided to revisit some of our favorite episodes. So at this time, the episodes will fill you with inspiration, creativity, and resilience. It's a way of offering a bit of positive in a brief escape and perhaps a spark of hope in these challenging times. Today we're featuring a rerun of an incredible episode with the world-acclaimed long hair educational artist, Sharon Blaine. Sharon is a legend in the beauty industry and over 5 decades of experience. Her workshops, boot camps, and innovative teaching has left us an remarkable mark on hairdressing around the world. If you missed this episode, this is the first time it's your chance to be inspired by her journey and insights. And if you already have heard her, I hope you will revisit this conversation and bring some comfort and creativity during this trying time. Until the world feels a little bit lighter and life begins to get better, we hope these reruns will remind us all of the beauty and the resilience within us. Thank you for listening for now, and please enjoy this inspiring conversation with Sharon Blaine. Thank you.
Welcome to Artists, Icons, and Entrepreneurs, the podcast that dives deep into the stories of trailblazers who shape our world. Our co-host Lulu Benavidez is a seasoned entrepreneur in the beauty industry, is a photographer, artist, and the proud owner of Lulu's The Salon in Galveston, Texas. Our other co-host, Krokonis Hanson, is a visionary in the entrepreneurial world with years of experience in business innovation and development. Together, they bring you insights, inspiration, and the journeys of remarkable individuals who have made their mark. And with that, let's get started. Sharon Blaine is one of the most acclaimed hairdressers and educators globally today. For more than 5 decades, she has honed her craft, perfected her skills, and shared her unrivaled knowledge with thousands of hairdressers worldwide through workshops, seminars, online platforms, and her highly acclaimed boot camps. Sharon's innovative and unique education programs cover the entire spectrum of long hair expertise, from stunning bridal and celebrity red carpet hairstyling to editorial and avant-garde dressing. She is recognized for her exceptional creativity through stunning photographic imagery published worldwide and has received numerous prestigious accolades and achievements. These include winning Hair Expo Australia's Educator of the Year award and an unprecedented 5 times, and being honored twice as a recipient of the Hair Expo Australian Hall of Fame. Globally, Sharon has been recognized at the International AIPP Awards for her stunning photographic collections and her skills as a highly successful business owner at the Global Salon Business Awards. In 2022, her outstanding service to the industry was honored with a Medal of the Order of Australia by the Governor General, one of Sharon's proudest moments to date. Rarely has a hairstylist captured the hearts and minds of her students as Sharon Blaine has. Testimonials and stories about how Sharon's education has impacted the lives and careers of hairdressers worldwide flood in daily, and her education calendar is booked solidly years in advance, all testament to her unwavering reputation as an outstanding and highly respected educator and mentor. Innovation is at the heart of Sharon's skills and mindset. She has pioneered many unique techniques and tools throughout her career, and even after 5 decades in the industry, she continues to revolutionize the way stylists learn, access, and absorb education. Sharon has developed a range of online and offline educational resources, including digitized versions of her highly acclaimed bootcamp workshop, over 180 tutorials translated into 7 subtitle languages, 4 books, DVDs, and hair padding. These resources are extensively used as training tools for colleges and academies worldwide. The renowned Sharon Blaine Bootcamp has been hailed as the best value and most comprehensive comprehensive hairdressing short course offered globally today and continues to enthrall its students with every delivery. Leading international platform educators, Hollywood stylists, Europe's key creative teams, top American TV celebrity hairdressers, as well as the best bridal, makeup, and session stylists in the business have all experienced the bootcamp phenomenon and loudly praised the content, professionalism, and creativity of this unique educational experience. If that wasn't enough, Sharon's dedication to the future of the industry has resulted in a brand new education offering aimed at reimagining Australia's hair apprenticeships and advanced training certificates. Known as The Craft, it elevates formal qualifications to new heights with its first ever coalition of respected global masters sharing their finest skills with the stylists who will propel this industry forward for years to come. Sharon Blaine is undoubtedly one of hairdressing's most recognized and esteemed icons. Respect and longevity set her apart, along with her desire to leave a legacy that continues to ignite passion within the hearts of our future generations for years to come. Some notable awards are the Medal of the Order of Australia 2022, 2024 International Hair Legend Awards winner, Educator of the Year, AHFA 2023, winner, Business Educator of the Year, Individual, AHIA 2023, two-time inductee Hall of Fame, Hair Expo Australia, five-time Educator of the Year, three-time Education Business of the Year, two-time Business Performance of the Year, seven-time finalist Hairdresser of the Year, Hair Expo Australia, and 2015 AIPP Awards finalist for Infinity Collection.
Welcome to Artists, Icons, and Entrepreneurs. Another episode. Oh my God. And this time all the way from Australia. Can you believe that? So it's a day ahead of us. So I'm here with my co-host, Sue Krokonis Hanson, and together we're going to be interviewing Sharon Blaine. Sharon is a wealth of information. Oh my God, I can't believe that we actually got her to consider us for to interview her. So Sharon, how are you?
Oh, Lulu, I'm absolutely fine. It's around 8 in the morning here, and I believe it's around 6 for you the night before, which is always very strange to get your head around, isn't it?
Yes. I kept Googling it and trying to make sure that I got the right timing. And one of the guys that does the reading of your bio, his name is Jonathan, and he says, just have a whirl of clocks in front of you the whole time, and then you know what time zone they're in. And so, oh God, more stuff. So I've had the pleasure of taking some of your classes.
Yes, you have.
In various places, and I am always impressed with the work that you turn out. And I think we did a class in New York where a photographer was there.
Yes.
And we shot some models. And in the email you sent all the participants, you had also said to come with your own ideas, and you kind of briefed us on everything. So you know me, well, I know myself. I'm always, do all this research. I put it on PowerPoint. I put music behind it. And I was the only one that did that.
I know. Yours were, and you know what? As you speak, you remind me of that, and that was so impressive. Particularly as we had quite a lot of younger hairdressers who didn't do much at all. And I really thought, wow, you're so much ahead of the game. In fact, I wouldn't have been able to have done one of those, Lulu. So hats off to you.
Oh well, I learned so much. We made petals. It took 2 freaking days. You took us to an awesome, fabric place, and then I showed my children some photographs of that, and they told me, Mother, do you know that dog is very famous, and that whole fabric place is famous in New York?
Yes.
That's where people go to do the runway, the runway?
Project Runway.
And a lot of the different shows go to that particular fabric store. And I must say, every time I go to New York, without a doubt, that's, instead of going to a famous coffee shop or a restaurant, that's one of my go-to places.
Can you elaborate on some of that or what you've
Well, that
done?
was Moods Fabrics in the Fashion District in New York, and I think there's about 5 floors of it.
Yeah.
And it's always been famous for being able to purchase pretty much anything that's been produced in the haberdashery, the fabrics, the different types of textured fabrics and things like that. So, designers, young designers, people who are, sort of studying fashion, that is the go-to place to, not to research, but if you can't find it there, you probably can't find it anywhere. And that would be my opinion.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I always feel it was a great thing to do because I think we don't think outside the hair arena when we're creating images. And I love the idea of people realizing that there's so much more than just hair. As long as you make your images look like they're hair-like images, you can use lots of different material to create different effects.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to say something, Sue?
Well, I was just going to say, I've known Lulu since we were both children, and she's gone to a lot of great classes. I have never heard her more pumped up, her creativity more stirred than when she came back from your class. And it just made me excited to interview you. But I, in reading your bio, I had to ask, how does a nice gal from Australia wind up being a worldwide superstar in the area of not only creativity, but education and photography?
Oh, look, you're so kind, Sue. Thank you. I started, and I've got to say it, I'm going to have to clock up 60 years in the new year of being in this industry, which is pretty wild, considering I started, such a young age. I think the thing that keeps me going is always challenging myself to be better than what I was yesterday. So even when I do a collection, I always look at what I've done in the past, and I'm the most critical person of anything that I do. I can find just that one little thing in a hairstyle that I'm thinking that's going to bug me forever. Well, people can't even see it.
Yes.
But I think probably that's the perfectionist in me. But I love being able to challenge myself with anything at all. I sent, just on a side note, I sent a photo to Ailey, my assistant in Estonia, recently, and it was actually a lamp. And she's one of these girls, we connect so well because we both have this passion for creativity. And I sent this lamp to her and I said, I think you could make this in hair. And that's the way we tend to work. You ideas come from so many different mediums. So we're always, and your eyes are always open. And I feel sad for people that don't have the opportunity to see how beautiful our world is and what opportunities are just standing there in front of our faces. But, you can look at something and think, can I make this in hair? And then you sit down and challenge yourself. And I think those challenges are what's kept my longevity and my creativity inspired to do what I've done over these years.
So did you start working in a salon, and then was the next step competitions? Tell us a little bit about how.
So I started in a salon, and I was fired from my first job after three months. Because I was told I was never going to make a hairdresser. So, I was wasting their time and my own time, which was devastating for me. But I think those words have continued to ring through because I'm saying them again to you now, this many years later. And this woman was not going to think that she had me. I wasn't going to stop. So those were great fighting words for me. Some people may have taken them to heart and gone away and never did what never followed their passion. But for me, I was going to prove her wrong at every corner. So from there on in, I always watched in the country town. It was always very difficult for training. So I never, to be completely honest, I don't have any trade certificates. In Australia, you actually, you need to find a job to be a hairdresser. And you are then signed up for a 4-year apprenticeship. And within that 4 years, you're supposed to go to college for 1 day a week over 2 years. But in the country town, hairdressing was not offered at the local college. And because I was very young, it would have meant that I would have had to travel probably 4 hours on a train to get to the city to do my study. And of course, my parents wouldn't allow that. So I did my training on the job, but I can't say it was great training on the job. There wasn't, although in one sense, the only good part about the next job I got was that he was a wig maker. So the very, very early years, I was actually able to see how wigs and wefts were made. And he would do that out the back. And I must say, I actually did a little bit of weft making in my very, very first year of being an apprentice. But I married very young, so I left that job and married at 19. And then my husband at the time, we moved away from the town that we were in. And it was very difficult to get a job, and it took me 7 years to get my hair license. So you sit for an exam when you think after 4 years, you sit for that exam and they either pass you or fail you. It took 7 years to get that license. And but I worked in a country town, many country towns in our early marriage times. And, you know, no one trained very well. So I took myself off to London. I actually asked my dad for a loan. So he gave me $10,000 and I promised I wouldn't lose it. And I bought a little rundown salon and decided to go to Sassoon's. So after I bought the salon and I started to get a little bit of money behind me, I then went off to London and studied continuously for many, many years. I would go, this was sort of my pilgrimage on an annual basis to Sassoon's. So although I'm very renowned for my styling and my creativity, I would actually say my cutting skills back then, not as much now, but probably pretty much top of the range as well. So I then decided that I really loved teaching. And I think with the teaching comes a lot of learning. So obviously I continued to learn. I learned to be a good teacher, but I loved competition. So competition was my big thing in my early career. And I started to compete in local competitions and actually won my way, believe it or not, to compete in the World Supreme in New York at the beauty show, the New York beauty show at Japan Jobert Center. So I came all the way from Australia with my little model, and we competed there. And I think I got like ninth. And I continued to compete, and I continued to come back to New York to compete in that competition. And I also won my right to compete in the European Championship. So I've done very well then. Oh my God.
We love dogs on the show.
Well, this is my dog. This is Clive. But yes, so my competition days, I got to work with Anne Bray. So I decided I wanted to be better and greater at competitions. And Anne and Gary was alive at the time, and I came into Huntsville, Alabama, I think on 3 different occasions. I actually had to take a bank loan to come. Hey, and I was so proud, and I always loved Anne, and still to this very day have a very close connection with Anne. But I think she was the one that put me on my track of doing good, classical, technical hairdressing. Right. And I think being very strong in my technical skills, it was very sought after, the skills that I had, and people wanted to learn. So we started in Australia with education, and I devised a class called boot camp. And I was only talking about it the other day because I decided that at that time that I couldn't teach people what I wanted to teach them in a couple of days. I felt everybody walked away excited with what they learned. I walked away feeling like I hadn't done enough. And I thought if I could have people in a room for 4 or 5 days, I feel like I could actually give them pretty much everything that they needed to know to get on the road. So I devised a boot camp. And, 70 boot camps later, I have done them around the world. So obviously when we did the first boot camp, we had it videoed. I did so much work. Oh, my God. I think 6 months I practiced to train. And I wanted to teach people the basic skills from the very beginning to what it took to be a good, strong stylist. And I honestly tweaked it as we went, but it ended up being, so the last boot camp I did was in New York, 2023, and that was, we had a double back-to-back boot camp there. And we ended up with, I think, something like 40 in each class over 2 weeks. Wow. And they traveled from all around the world. We just attracted so many people. I think people just thought if they didn't do boot camp with me, they hadn't done their time.
Yeah.
And believe me, I wondered after the event whether they actually wish they hadn't have, because they were seriously knocked into shape.
Yeah.
But when I got on that plane to come home, I thought I have nothing left in the tank. I felt like my tank had run dry, but the success of that was just phenomenal. And I just love to see people learn. I think too much in education today, people are afraid to share everything they know, because I think they feel that if I share too much, these people will be better than me and I won't have a day job. But I look at it this way. I've been at it for this many years. You're going to have to go for this long to actually get that good. It doesn't happen.
Right.
It's not an overnight success, believe me.
Yeah, and it takes a lot of practice. Yeah,
it's been a very long focus, and it continues to be. It doesn't stop, even today, this many years later. If I'm doing a live, last week we had a video crew come over, and I did 6 new looks on mannequin heads for my online class, because we add 2 new looks every single month to the online subscription. And, it took me probably 10 days to design new looks, get them prepared and practice, ready to put on set to do this, this video content. So you never stop. I think people think, when you you've come of age, but I don't believe you ever come of age.
No, you don't. And that's the beauty about you, Sharon, is that, you said that one of your mentors was Anne Bray. Well, I remember when she was doing a class for Aquage, everybody would go out to dinner, and she was in her room practicing what she was going to teach the next day. And that's what you do all the time. You go back to your room and you practice, but you also tell the ones that are taking your class that, in order to get great, you have to practice. You've got to practice.
You can't just come to the class and think you can just walk away and be great now. And I can only give you so much, and I can stand there and hold your hand, and I can give you feedback and, sort of coaching. But I think until you actually continue to do it, and I got to say, I think the number is about 5 times. So I feel like I do something and it's bad, and then I do it again and it gets a little bit better. But until I get to about 5 times the repeat, I have to think, now I think that's good. I think that's right. I know how my hand has to sit. I know how I have to direct the hair. I know which comb is the best, which spray, how much spray. That's what I think. So, don't try to be everything. Don't try to create everything all together. Select something and work on it until you've perfected it, and then move on. But I think if you do that with your basic skills, then the evolution of creating new ideas, new looks, definitely comes up.
Right.
I feel sometimes when I look at younger designers today, they want to rush things, meaning they want to get into the creative phase before they have those really solid technical foundations. You can't be good creatively if you're not good technically first. And I hear you sort of saying that because, and you're, that's terrific. One of the things that I wanted to ask you was, it's apparent you're a lifelong learner, and I would assume that is why you're a lifelong sharer, because when we really learn something and are confident, we want to share it. And certainly Anne Bray, I think the whole world is in love with Anne. I'm just curious as to who you're getting inspiration from these days.
Oh, look, I think the likes of Eugene Solomon, Sam McKnight, Guido. I'm very much a follower of the designers for fashion shows.
Yes.
So the minute the fashion shows are on, whether they're Milan, New York, London, wherever they are, Paris, I am absolutely glued to every runway show, clicking through, seeing who's done the show, looking at their work, trying to find behind the scenes. screen grabbing different little snippets along the way. I think those people are the leaders. They're like the mature hair designers of our world, and we just take that chore and break it down for the, for the masses, I suppose. So there might be just, one way they've done a fringe, and I think, oh my God, that's so amazing. And I'll just stand there and work. How can I do that fringe? I'm not always trying to recreate or copy, but look at it. How can I utilize the angle and the flow of that hair into something that could be now into the mainstream arena? Because I like to create images that are useful for people to do in the salon, or whether they're doing a bride or a red carpet event. That's what I want to water down, that what they do, and bring it into the real world. Because a lot of the looks on the runway aren't always 100% wearable, but when they're tweaked and manipulated to, user-friendly techniques and, what's running as a trend, I think it works very, very well. But they are the people, editorial session stylists are definitely the people that I absolutely, I love follow.
Devour.
Yes, non-stop.
And you do a lot of those shows right now, don't you?
You know what? I've stopped doing shows now. I really find that lining up, and doing that. I think I've probably, you go through your stages in your career of things that you must do. And, I've had, for example, we spoke about Project Runway. It's going back some time now, but I headed up Project Runway, the TV show in Australia. Then I wanted to do runway shows. So I was happy to be on anyone's team. And I headed up a lot of the Australian designer shows. And I got a chance to work backstage, in New York. But to be honest, it's not necessarily, I don't feel like I need to have that on my criteria, on my, curriculum, not my curriculum, my CV. I've done this. I like to do things and let's move on. What's my next new thing? My next new thing, I want to work in opera. I want to work and do wigs for opera and ballet, because I haven't done that. And I want to really move a little bit further into movies, because I got a chance to work on a lead in a movie through lockdown. And then, of course, I just wound up my classes again. So, you can't do everything. But I seriously would love to start working more on movies. So, there's all different aspects of our industry. And I don't think a lot of young folks realize that there's more to our industry than just working behind the chair. We have a phenomenal industry. We have a lot of beautiful career paths. And if you're super skilled at what you do, the door will open for any direction you wish to head. And I'm blessed to have that knowledge, because I know that knocking on doors isn't so easy. It's so difficult for me to get in the door. Probably my age might be the only limitation these days.
We're all the same age.
Oh my God, I don't like it.
It's what you were talking about in terms of just growing and doing things. I think a lot of times that the burnout factor in our business is tremendous, because you can have really good hairdressers that love this profession, but after 10 or 15 years behind the chair with the same clients, the same routine, the same type of environment, they just, it's no longer fun. And that was part of when Lulu and I talked about, was not only to be able to put the spotlight on people like yourselves who've done so many wonderful things, but to also let people know that there are so many other avenues they can take those skills.
Absolutely. I mean, Anthony Robbins is going to be the first one to say, if it's not working, you need to change. So if you're stuck in an environment and you're complaining about burnout and it's boring and it's all of that, the only person that you need to fix is you, because no one's telling you to stay there. No one's forcing you to be I think you have to get out of bed every day and choose the path. You're going to be happy and miserable. What path are you choosing? If it's not working, you need to change. And, I ran businesses. I've got to say, I've worked in many salons because if it's not working, I need to find an environment that is working. And I always say to these young folks who are very quick to say, oh, I don't know, I wanted to be a hairdresser and, just didn't like the salon. It might take 5 or 6 salons to find your tribe because we don't always fit in the mold of the salons that we're working in. And if you are unhappy in that salon, then that's not your tribe. You need to find the salon environment that fits and the one that you're comfortable and you want to show up every day with a great attitude. I have a great thing, and I used to think about it with my staff when I run salons. There's a use-by date on a bag of, on some meat in the freezer, yeah? You have use-by dates on your, what? And there's a use-by date on a lot of hairdressers that sit in those salons day after day, whinging and moaning, but they know nothing about freshening themselves up.
Right.
So, even salon owners are holding on to people that are not doing their salons any good by having them in the team. Yeah. So we are responsible for our own destiny. It's not, nobody else turns the lights on. We have to turn our own lights on. And, I guess I'm a bit of an old philosopher in many ways on that respect, but I don't like, when people say, oh, I'm burnt out or I'm tired or I just can't do this, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I just put your big girl pants on, tuck it up and get out there.
That's so true because you constantly learning new techniques, new ways to do things. And I take, for instance, yesterday I did a photo shoot. I think I'm a photographer. So, this guy calls me up that I shoot with. So we did a freaking photo shoot. I did the hair. I did the hair. I don't do the makeup because I let her do the makeup because nobody wants to come and play with me. I play by myself. So anyway, the photographer is my daughter's photographer. He's a wedding photographer, but he likes to shoot with me because we both get creative. And so I did this braiding, a freaking braid, And then I saw that Allie Puss is braiding hair after what I saw. And then it clicked on me. I go, oh my God, I could do so much braiding. Anyway, I just put 2 pigtails on her. I got some monofiber hair and I did that. So I'm constantly, like you and like Sue, and we're 70 years old and we're constantly learning. Yes. We're freaking busy. We're so busy. And I don't know if you know this, Sharon, but Sue owns a company for people that have hair loss. And also she's coming out with a new hair topper, too, for people with hair loss. So, that's an avenue.
I love hair toppers. They're fabulous.
Yeah. Our big thing was to design a system that women could wear for 5 to 6 weeks at a time, day or night, without causing any damage to the hair that they had. And it became a passion of mine. It was like the 5th stage of my hairdressing life because I've done different things. But I want to pick up on this note because we're laughing and kidding about our age. But in a way, I want to put a challenge out there to those people in the beauty industry younger than us, because I think we were a pretty gutsy group of people. Sharon, you were going to Sassoon. Lulu and I were traveling everywhere we could go. And today, I feel like a lot of young people are afraid to put themselves out there. They want to take a class online, but to have to travel out of town or be in a class with people they don't know or pay money to take a class from somebody don't know, they're kind of timid about it.
They're afraid. They're afraid that I believe they're afraid that they will show up as their lack of skill. And of course, the younger people are so switched on to the social media and the influencers that are influencing them. But, the one thing I'm going to just keep saying this, and I know I'm probably going to get shot down, influencers are not educators.
Sometimes they're not even hairdressers.
Well, that's correct. That's correct as well. But when you look at the arena of hairdressers or people that are doing posts on Instagram or YouTube, or TikTok, for example, that are showing hair, they're showing like it's like a performance to them. It's a preset performance. So they're showing you what they need to see. And unfortunately, these young people are caught up in that, and they don't see the real facts behind the color. That 1 minute was black, and the next minute it's beautiful shades of gray or a beautiful blonde, and they don't see the process that it went through. So I think they think there's a quick way of doing things, and I think that's they want it now. They don't want to wait. They don't want to have to earn it. Also, I think I think COVID forced us to really consider online education as being the way to do it. And I think people of our age are we love the interaction in the classroom, and we are still attending. But the young ones that have been more, they've more got into what's online. Yeah. So there's two different markets for education now, and we've learned that as well. That's why we have online, and that's why I've always done the hands-ons as well.
Right, and that's I didn't mean to put down hands online, because we do online as well, but it's that you're progressing to a place. So if all you ever want to do is get on TikTok and watch 30-second, that's entertainment. That's not education. And it can create something in you where you want to learn more, but it's not the end of the line. It's the beginning,
Yeah, absolutely. And I do think as they developed, if they actually stay in the business long enough, they actually realize that they seriously need to get better skilled at certain things. And that's when I feel like they come to my class. Yeah. And I'm actually excited. I look at the people that sign up for me now, and they are youth. They are young, and I'm so thrilled that they saw that they actually wanted to go out there and learn. But there's still a lot that don't. But it depends, on their career path. If they say, I really want to do editorial, I want to do celebrities, I want to do runway shows, they actually will not get in the door with the current skills that they think they need. No one's going to get in the door being able to use a straightener with a curl in. Right. It is so much more than a straightener with a curl. So if you don't know anything past that way of manipulating the hair and getting movement, then you're not going to get much further. So you do need to take classes, and you really probably need to, if we have any newbies in college here, just don't hoo-ha the rollers when they're teaching you that in your class, because although you don't think it is something you need to know, if you have a great vision for your future, it will be something that you'll be throwing at. You'll be throwing that job to do somewhere along the line. If you're looking at movies and you're going to work on wigs, you're going to have to do sets. You're going to have to learn how to create this type of hair and how to use those tools. So you may think it's old-fashioned, but it has a place in our industry, and will continue to have a place moving forward.
You're so true. You got to have that foundation in order to move forward. And if you don't have the foundation, you can't. There's no way that you can move forward. And you're left-handed, aren't you?
I certainly am. My right hand. My right hand is only for show. Although I must say, when I broke my right hand, everyone was saying, "Thank God you're left-handed." Yeah. But let me tell you, I do need both.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, and just thinking about I think, again, a stylist is not going to go from being a good salon stylist to being a red carpet stylist. But you might start by doing more creative bridal work, and then doing more photography with bridal work. And, I think that there's just so much that is out there. And I always say, find out who's doing it the best and learn from them. Why do you want to go to a class that's cheaper or somebody that's nearer. No, find the best and go to them. And absolutely, that would be you, Sharon.
Oh, look, I don't know how many more of Sharon's classes are going to be able to attend. I don't think anyone understands the back end of doing a class. Believe me, traveling with 90 kilos of luggage is no fun, particularly at this age.
Yeah.
But look, I'm so blessed to have really taught some, individuals throughout my time that have gone on to be unbelievable in their field of bridal or red carpet. I can name so many of these people that have attended my class and driven themselves to be the best, and they're now offering classes. So I love to see that my students are now the teacher. So I feel like I've left a really great legacy of my skills along the way. And obviously, as long as I can continue to do so, that will be something I will do. But I think that's what I want to call ourselves a matriarch, but that's very daunting and old-fashioned. But, we must leave a legacy. We must hand on our skills to the next generation. And yes, some are going to be open to receiving them, but some of them won't. But those who receive them, hopefully they will then continue to pass through to generations. Because if we don't continue to pass our skills on, our skills die with us, but our industry never grows.
Right.
Our industry is what is so important to me, the heart of our industry, and we don't get a good rap as hairdressers.
No.
Our salons, there's some very, very successful salons, but overall, if anyone's going to dish out on on anyone on social media, it's going to be hairdressers, isn't it?
Right. Yeah.
That's so true. That's so true. I think the last class I attended with you was around, it just happened, COVID happened.
And
It was in January. It was in January. I went to your class in LA, or right outside of LA.
Yes.
And then COVID hit in March.
Yes, then we went to New York. And actually, before New York even opened, the Academy, the Moroccan Oil, who are hosting our event, said we actually are getting a directive from International that we're going to have to close the Academy. But I had the class. So I got this on the Friday and I think, oh my God, we've got a class in New York on the Sunday. What's going to happen? But anyhow, they actually closed the Academy the day I walked away after that. And also, it's quite a crazy story. I mean, we all have a COVID story to tell. But then we went on to Salt Lake City and we set up the following weekend on the Sunday, and everything was being locked down there. And my niece on the Saturday night, so we set up on Saturday for the event on the Sunday. My niece on the Saturday night, who's in travel, sent me a ticket overnight. So when I woke up to do the class in the morning, she said, here's your ticket. You need to get to Dallas now. This is the only flight I can get you on before the borders close.
Oh my God.
So I never even did the Salt Lake City class.
Oh my.
I had to leave, and then we were locked down for 2 years in Australia.
For 2 years?
Yes.
2 years, we could not do an international flight without government approval.
Wow.
So the first flight I did after 2 years was going back to Canada and, honouring my students who had booked for, there was a double class booked of students. So I went back to honour that class. And I love to tell this story. I don't know, I never had an experience like this in my whole time of being an educator. But walking back into that room, because apparently people in Canada were locked down quite a bit as well.
Yes.
And all those individuals that came to that class were so emotional because all of a sudden they're now connected with like-minded people. And I could not hold down the emotion of actually being in a class with people again. I didn't realize how much students validated me and my work. You just do what you do, but you actually do it because they actually validate your needs as well.
Yes,
and it was
exactly.
quite a deeper level of thinking, but goodness, it was an overwhelming class. And I've got to say, probably one of the best classes I've ever done, because I think we're so desperate to learn. I was so desperate to do my job, and everyone appreciated everybody, and we're just like best friends after that class.
Wow.
It was just a really cathartic sort of experience for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you tell our audience what classes you have coming up? Maybe different types of classes you're doing, where you're going to be,
Oh gosh,
or where they
Sue,
can
now
at
you're
least,
putting me on the spot. Because to
or
be
at least.
completely honest, I haven't booked any future on hands-on classes.
Oh.
I'm struggling with a few personal things
Okay.
health-wise, so I'm really holding back on announcing anything. But
Mm-hmm.
what I do have, I decided that if I can't go to the masses, that the masses will
Mm-hmm.
come to me.
Right.
And I am actually in the stages of being able to announce on the 14th, 15th of September in Sydney, Australia. I am actually creating a 3-day massive educational event that is bringing international artists to Australia, as well as Australian artists, as well as Noise. Now, I don't know if you know Noise. Noise is a crazy, crazy hair show that travels all around the world from China to Russia and everywhere in between. I'm actually
Look at Lulu and I.
I'm hosting this noise event at this particular event next September. I'm bringing in some of the best in our industry who are technical hairdressers. And my goal for the whole event is there will be no influencer educators on the stand.
Yeah.
They must be technically skilled and known for their technical skill. So I have cutters, colorists, avant-garde. I've got the best in the business that I've lined up to present over these 3 days. And we're actually going to be doing packages as well as accommodation and ticket packages.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to think within probably the next month, if anyone thinks Australia is their go-to place, and particularly if you're looking in America, this would be a great opportunity because the dollar is so bad that you would be getting this price. You'll be getting this price pretty much at like 40% off because you'll be paying in your American dollars. So it's a really cheap seat for you guys.
Yeah.
But look, I put all my energy into this. I'm working really hard on it. And I feel that this could be the way of the future with education.
Yeah.
Bringing lots of like-minded people into one location and offering this great technical experience over 3 days.
Yeah.
So that's my proposal. That's what we're working on. And we're at the stage now where I'm still alive after we worked out the budget. So that's a good thing. Whether I'll be still alive if we don't sell tickets, that will be another thing for another time. But I feel super confident that people will embrace this new way of education. And it's just bringing all these top people to Australia and giving you a 3-day experience of everything you would ever want to learn from the best in the world under the one roof. And, and you know, brands do this, but, you know, I'm an individual educational brand, not a product brand.
Correct.
So it's very different from someone like myself to be doing this. I've got this dog that has decided to be on the table. I think I'm going to throw him outside, but if I put him outside, he'll bark. Clive, you need to behave. So he decided he wants to eat the buttons off my shirt. So if anyone is interested in that, you know, we will be posting, obviously, over the next few weeks, all the information, the ticket sales, and everything like that. And I really feel excited to be able to welcome internationals to my class, to my event, because Sydney is probably the most beautiful city. I was lucky enough to be doing a bride on the 37th floor overlooking the harbour on Saturday. And the sun was shining and it was blue and it was beautiful. And I thought, I have travelled the world. I have seen the best of every city in the world. And nothing takes your heart more than the harbour of Sydney. And the hotel that we've decided on is just a walk to the harbour. It's a walk to every beautiful part of our city, and it's going to be in spring, so it'll be spectacular weather, but not so hot that it's going to, you know, cook you. So I'm very excited for what we're doing. So that's what's happening, and of course my online. I have the online subscription, but we haven't even launched it yet. It's sitting there waiting to come out. I have a new funnel online, and it's called, I want to call it Sharon and Friends, but that's a bit corny. But I'm bringing in my friends who have done fabulous video content, and they will be featured on my site as well. So we have cut and color and makeup and barbering and all different aspects of styling. So I have a lot of my friends that have created the content, and you'll be able to jump onto my online Sharon Blaine Education and actually purchase their material through my
Through your site.
portal.
Yeah.
So I think that's really nice to do as well. It's good to be able to introduce some really fabulous educators.
Yeah.
And if I just want to promote them, because I really want to promote everybody who I think inspires me, that should then go on to inspire others. Because it just makes us a better industry overall.
Yeah. And we want to promote this as well. So please keep us in the loop. Send us any information. We want to be pointing the way.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely will.
We might see you girls down under next September.
Oh, yeah.
2025.
Why not?
Lulu, a good experience
Yeah.
for you.
I'm going to buy my ticket now.
Yeah.
Oh, Sharon, you have been such an inspiration and everything that you're doing, your online classes, the event that you're going to put on. Oh my God, I can't hardly wait to see it and hear it. And,
honestly, I am not even able to sleep at night on many levels.
Yes. Yeah.
Maybe financial ticket sales, but what I'm not able to sleep about is the amount of seriously amazing people that have agreed
to do this. Yeah.
And so I think, oh my God, I picked up the phone to all these dream people that I want, and they've all said yes. Like, wow,
Yeah.
And I've already now started to get my wish list for the following year. So, so I would like to think it might be something like an annual event.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. God loves an optimist, Sharon.
Yes. And you are definitely that.
I'm always going to be like that.
So where can people find you?
On SharonBlaineEducation.com.
Okay.
Or SharonBlaine.com. So either, you can head either direction there, because I think you'll find me there. And you'll find, obviously, the online there. You'll find our shop. And that's also, we will have the link to the hair event. We were just today, we'll be getting the first lot of graphics coming through for the design. I'm dying to see what the graphic company comes up with from the design aspects, because that's very important for us to have design. And today we're obviously working on sponsorship as well.
Oh,
so, yes, corporate sponsorship. I know nothing about it. And one of my colleagues on the weekend said, Sharon, you just have to pick up the phone to these people. I'll give you money. I said, I might be able to pick up the phone, but I don't know if I could ask them for money.
How much money are you asking for?
A truckload, thank you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's you know what? An event like this doesn't come cheap.
No.
You've got three days of hotel. We've got commitment to rooms. We've got food every day. We've got a meet and greet cocktail party in the evening. Hosting the noise event in a separate location and flying and accommodation and food and oh my God.
Yeah.
And then of course we've got to think about the lighting, the sound, the microphones. Fortunately, I have a fabulous producer that's over all of this. She sent out a brief for the audio brief, and I didn't even know what she was talking about.
Yeah.
So airways is the number one problem for me. Thank God I've always been the greatest believer. Surround yourself with people that know more than you.
Right.
That's
exactly.
right. That's what you do.
Exactly. Well, and we will certainly be encouraging this. I can see Lulu and I may have to volunteer to be tour guides, to bring a few of ours. There's a couple of dozen that come to mind right off the bat.
Well, I tell you what, if you have a little group, a groupie set that would come with you, please reach out, and we will definitely have our travel person set up a beautiful little itinerary. We're looking at getting some bridge climb. You can walk over the Harbour Bridge, don't you?
Yes.
No, I didn't.
Yes, yes, you can. Lulu, you can. And you can walk right to the very top part, not just across the bottom. So that's one of the big things for tourists to come to Australia. And there's some beautiful, tourist things that we have here. So I would imagine people would come for the 3-day event and maybe make it a 5 or a week.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
And going up to the Barrier Reef, which is Australia's most iconic area for the most beautiful coral and things like that. That's where a lot of tourists go. And they also head to the Red Centre, which is where Uluru is, which is that red rock out in the middle of nowhere where people just feel that they gravitate to. Mm-hmm. So, people have the vision of wanting to do some touristy things around. We have an agent that will be managing that on their behalf. So, yeah, it's pretty exciting times. It's wild. I can't believe I've signed up for this, but anyhow, I'm so far down the track, I can't turn around and go back now.
Well, thank you so much, Sharon, for, this interview. You are a wealth of knowledge, and your drive is unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Any closing words, Sue?
Well, I just feel so lucky that there are people like you who are willing to put the time and energy in to give back to our profession, and who are always striving to make it better and to help people. And when you're doing something that involves the best of the best, how can it not be a fabulous experience?
Yeah.
It's just...
It's been absolutely great to talk to you, Lulu. Your smile is infectious.
Oh, thank you.
I always loved you in class, and I remember so many times we've sat down and chatted about so many things, and it was just such a privilege for you to invite me on. And, I think the one thing that, as I said, us as the elders of the industry, if we don't give back, who will? So we have to encourage that through the generations, to make our industry strong and great, and keep it great.
Yes, exactly.
Otherwise, we it's a role we play, and I think if everyone realizes that role is giving back, then there is no reason why we won't be sustainable for many, many, many years to come.
Many years to come. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Sharon. See you in Australia.
Wow, what an episode. That wraps up another exciting edition of Artists, Icons, and Entrepreneurs. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you're leaving inspired and ready to chase your dreams. Don't forget to follow us on social media and subscribe to our podcast so you never miss an episode over at youtube.com/artists, icons, entrepreneurs, as well as Facebook at Lulu Benavidez, on IG at Lulu Benavidez, at Evolve Hair Solutions as well. And don't forget to visit our website at lulubenavidez.com and evolvehairsolutions.com to stay updated. Until next time, keep dreaming big, creating boldly, and making your mark on the world. Thanks for listening, and take care, everyone.